Joshua Furs, Wayne Carl over there on the other side. We're here with Brad Antman Walley, amateur record 4-2. He's never defeated at Flyweight, 3-fight win streak, fighting out of Cardioflex, ISO Health, BJJ of Adelaide, Australia. That's a mouthful. Mr. Brad, how's it going, my friend?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good.
So obviously a few months ago I did a Q&A with yourself, which was one of my first ones, so thank you. Leading into, I think it was DFC 6, a Diamondback Fighting Championship 6. So for those that didn't read it, I do get a lot of readers, but some people don't read my stuff. I think it's my head. So talk us through your nicknames. Antman. Why do they call you the Antman?
Yeah, the nickname Antman sort of surfaced from when I was in the gym, just like keeping up with everyone else in the weights room, like picking up big weights, and they all made the joke, like, they say ants can lift, I don't know what the exact number is, but they can lift like something like 10 times their body weight or something. The joke started floating around. They're like, I was like an ant and can lift 10 times my body weight. So that's sort of where the Antman nickname started.
So I'm about 90 kilos. I don't think that I can lift 900. So my nickname's definitely not the Antman. I want to actually touch on your last fight before I throw over to Nick. You fought Sin, who was 5-0, the number one ranked amateur flyweight, and you obviously took out a great win. What was your thought process? Now we're going to talk about you turning pro, but what was your thought process? Was it always if you won that fight, you were going to turn pro? So talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I was always, after getting those that was 3 victories down at flyweight that I had coming into the Chantu fight, and then obviously coming up against the number one ranked flyweight as well. I was like, well, if I can take out the number one ranked flyweight, then that's pretty much all I got to give in the amateurs, and it'd probably be time to step up to go pro. Going into that and beating him pretty dominantly, like it wasn't my most entertaining fight. It's not one that I look back at and I'm like, I want to show everyone about this one, but it was definitely a big important win. I was able to absolutely dominate him. So it was great. Definitely looking to go pro now. Well, I am going pro now, so that's 4 victories down at flyweight. No one's been out. I haven't even lost a round down there yet. So down at flyweight, I feel dominant. I feel big, strong. I feel like a wrecking ball down there.
Brad, what do you consider one of your biggest strengths?
One of my biggest strengths at the moment is definitely my wrestling, man. I find a lot of these flyweights, once I get a hold of them, they feel like children in there. Like I feel like I'm so much stronger than all of these guys down there. A lot of the times, if I can get a hold of people, I can throw them to the floor and they struggle to get back up.
Would you agree, coming from that wrestling base, would you agree that wrestling is probably, I'm a little biased because I did a little bit of wrestling. I think that wrestling is probably the most important, aspect of the game, in my opinion, because I think people who have that strong wrestling base, just from a mentality standpoint, I feel like it prepares you for just about anything. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that, and it gives you the option to be able to dictate where the fight takes place.
Yeah.
Where with my last fight with Chantu, we come out straight into the center, and I got dropped in like the first 10 seconds, and for me to then be able to fall back onto my wrestling, take him down, neutralize any offense that he was giving me there, and was able to recover and get back into the fight. For sure, wrestling's definitely one of the most important things. And when I first started out, I was primarily just a striker. I came out of Cardioflex. All I did was striking. I came from a Taekwondo background, and my grappling wasn't that fantastic. And over time, obviously developing grappling, and I love it. Grappling's one of my favorite parts of the sport now, and definitely with getting the likes of Chris and Taylor and I had Kyle, my wrestling coaches down at Cardioflex, they helped my wrestling game soar through the roof. And then the big jump down to ISO as well, working with Matt Jones, is just that's changed my game leaps and bounds.
That kind of ties into my next question. So obviously, your last fight, you had to dig down and you kind of grinded out to get the win. Again, what did you take away from that fight? And obviously, did that wrestling background again kind of help you with that with that same mentality, that grind kind of mentality?
Yeah, for sure. So with my last fight, it was I knew it was going to be a tough fight. Looking at Chantu, I thought I was pretty solid for flyweight. You look at that guy, and he's a freaking tank. So definitely coming up against him, I was like, geez, 5-0, number one ranked guy. I definitely thought that this was going to be real tough test. And to be able to go in there and out grapple him, like he's a blue belt, I'm a blue belt as well, and for me to feel stronger than he was in there and the size he had, I don't think there's going to be too many flyweights out there that will be able to deal with my strength and my wrestling background. So yeah, for sure, I think I'm going to be a real problem for these pros.
So looking at, and I obviously watched the stream. I didn't travel over for that fight. It was a big fight. Everyone was talking about it, obviously knowing what was coming for you. You stand in the middle and he lands, I think it was an overhand right or left, and you get dropped. Did that change your game plan? Did you want to stand and strike with him? Or did that knockdown go, you know what, I'm able to just change my game plan right now and I'm just going to win it ugly? Because obviously I think you probably want to knock him out the first 10 seconds. Things happen, and I actually think that shows the maturity that you've had as an amateur, that you're able to change it. But the way that I read it is that, you know, things happened at the start and you were able to change your game plan and still pull out that win.
For sure, my game plan going into every fight though is to I go in there. The first round's always a bit of a feel out, see how it goes, find where I find I have the upper hand, and it's just happened to be in my last 3 or so fights that I scored that takedown and I've gone, okay, I'm dominating these guys on the floor. We'll keep taking them down there. So not necessarily did it change my game plan too much when I got dropped. It was more I found out that one, he can hit. I kicked him in the head nice and flush right in the first 5 seconds of that fight, and funnily enough, it's when I jumped back in the pocket to try and finish him that I got dropped. So that's when I was like, okay, all right, he's got some good hands on him here. So I ended up getting that takedown, and he didn't have anything for me on the floor. So I'm like, all right, if you got nothing for me on the floor, we'll keep going down there.
Nice. Well, I'm going to focus on something different. You're fighting out on Diamondback Fighting Championship. Talk us through what's it like fighting for the boys, Craig and Greg and the rest of the guys. What's it like? Give them a shout out at Diamondback.
For sure, man. Diamondback, I've been pretty lucky. I've only ever fought on Diamondback. I haven't seen too many other local shows. I've watched a lot of local MMA, of course, but looking at the quality of the show, Diamondback, man, I can't see too many that have compared with the production value, the event, the way that the boys treat all the fighters and everything. It's a fantastic event. Greg and Ike, they do a fantastic job of putting together Diamondback. I'd definitely say it's one of the best shows in Australia.
And from a media perspective, they've been very open with myself and Wombat Jones and Combat Insiders. It's one of the most of the promotions are open arms, but I think Diamondback have looked after me. So shout out to the guys, mate. So yeah, hopefully I get back. I can't come this time because it's on a Sunday, and some of us have to work on the Monday. So unfortunately, I'll just get the live stream.
Oh, bugger. Yeah, it would have been good to see you down again, man.
There you go. So, look, man, as you know, I'm sure the 125-pound division, it's kind of in a weird spot right now, right, with UFC, because there's so many what-ifs. We don't know what's going to happen. Dana White hasn't really given a clear response. He just keeps saying, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. That's always his response. I guess maybe being in that division, I mean, like, what's your take on it, man? Like, what do you think happens to the division? Do you think that it really depends on if Cejudo and Dillashaw have this rematch, and let's just say they go up to 135, Cejudo beats him, wins the bantamweight title? You think Cejudo ever comes back down to 125? Does that kind of seal the fate for 125, or what are your thoughts about the whole situation?
Of course, yeah. Look, me being honest with myself, 125 has been a bit of a lackluster division as of late. I definitely think that they haven't had the right talent in the division for the UFC to build it into a star-studded division. Like, if you look at the likes coming up now, like the Kai Kara Francis, the Cejudos, and the people like this, like you watch their fights. I was at UFC Adelaide when Kai Kara France put on that performance, man, and like the crowd was going absolutely insane for him. That was one of the most entertaining fights of the night. So I don't think it's necessarily we're the lighter guys, we're the smaller guys, and we can't be entertaining. I think they just haven't had the right talent in the division as of yet. So yeah. I'm kind of hoping that the flyweight division will stick around long enough that in the UFC that the likes of me, Kai Kara France, and hopefully some of these guys that like to go out there and put on a show will be able to revive the flyweight division, make it awesome, man. So I definitely think I kind of think the UFC might be doing that a bit at the moment. They've been releasing so many people lately, man, and yeah, fingers crossed that they can just sign some exciting fighters that the crowd love to see. Because I definitely think that the flyweight division can be an exciting one.
Yeah.
So continuing on with that UFC, they give you a call. Uncle Dana rings you and says, pick a fighter you want to debut against in the 125. Who would you want to? Obviously not Cejudo, so think outside the champion. Who would you want to debut against? Because I've actually got someone that I'd love to see you fight in the next couple of years.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's so someone that's in the UFC right now.
Yeah, at 125. Yeah, all of a sudden you put together 5 straight in the local scene. Uncle Dana rings you and says, "Mate, pick someone. We want the Antman in there."
Look, man, definitely looking at Kai Kara France, man. I think me and him would be a great matchup. We're both going there, love to throw hands. He's got good grappling on him as well. I think a fight between me and Kai would be absolute fireworks. So, give me a couple more years, man, and I think that'll be an absolute fight that the fans would love to see.
So I looked at it as a stylistic matchup where you could win, and I reckon Baby Pettis would be perfect.
I'd love to step in that cage and throw down with him as well, man. I think that would be a great fight also.
Yeah, everything that you do well, I think he struggles with. I think he struggles with the grappler. I think your double leg, you'd pin him against it. Obviously, I'm not talking about tomorrow. You know, you haven't made your pro debut, which will come. But I think there's a lot of matchups. And as you said about your strength, I've seen you fight more than a couple of times. And I agree, man. At 125, you're my height. Well, actually, I think you're a half an inch taller. But I'll tell you that you're my height. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far you go, mate. So over to you.
That'll be awesome. Thank you.
As far as the division goes, obviously DJ was the king of 125 for years. Do you think that even now he's still considered kind of the GOAT of the division, or does that change since Cejudo beat him? Does that mean that he's not the GOAT anymore, or does it mean it doesn't matter? He was so good for so long, you just can't take it away from him.
Yeah, look, you can never doubt Demetrius Johnson. That man can do everything almost nearly perfect. So, it's just him losing to Cejudo that one time. Like, look at what he did to Cejudo the first time, though. Absolutely demolished him. Obviously, Cejudo was a different fighter the second time round.
Yeah.
But, look, I think if those guys fought 10 times, definitely DJ wins half of them, maybe. So
did he lose the first time? Did he lose the second time? I actually had DJ winning it. I broke down the fight, and I don't think he did enough of the takedown.
It was a very close fight. It wouldn't have been a robbery if it went either way. So I agree. DJ is an absolute wrecking ball, and he's just so hard to edge out anywhere. You can't go in there and be like, right, we're going to out-grapple DJ, or we're going to outstrike him. He does everything amazing. So I'm interested to see how he goes over there and won. It's good because they got some good fighters in that flyweight division as well over in one.
You know, I think it's a shame. Like you said, you talked about there's really nobody been that marketable fighter to really carry the torch for 125, and maybe that was it's not a lack of talent. Maybe it's a lack of marketability. You know, and it's not the same thing because obviously, like I said, DJ is the most talented guy maybe in any division, right? And I think that's pretty. You can argue that
for sure.
But he wasn't exactly the most marketable. Now, whether that's part his fault, you know, maybe UFC takes some of that blame because they really didn't put a whole lot of money behind him. Maybe they could take some of that blame. I don't know exactly where the fault lies, but I think it's a shame because DJ is so good, but he's really just not. He's not that marketable on a big scale.
No. And one thing I've found is definitely, I don't know why, but everyone in the 125-pound division, they all want to be friends.
Yeah.
Everyone laughs and puts their arms around each other, and everyone wants to be friends in there. We're in the age of shit-talking.
It's a hug fest.
We're in the age of showboating. So, like, I don't get why no one goes in there and shakes it up and talks a bit of shit and, gets a bit of excitement into the division.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was at a recent weigh-in where Brad decided to spice it up a little bit. So you're definitely not someone that needs to be friends before the fight, but in saying that, as soon as the fight was over, you shook his hand and even caught up afterwards. So, yeah, definitely, mate.
I'm always.
I'm going to jump into my rapid fire five, mate. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Let's
do
do
it.
it. Okay. McGregor, punch him in the face or have a drink with him?
I'd have a drink with him.
Blonde or brunette?
Brunette.
Harley or Porsche?
Porsche.
Tinder or Bumble?
Tinder.
All right. Marry or fight, Chris Cyborg?
Either one is brutal. I reckon I'd fight her.
All right. Would you beat her?
Fuck no.
Can I just ask, what the hell is Bubble? What's Bubble?
It's it's a different form of Tinder. How do you say it, Brad? You're the mate. I don't have.
I don't know, man. I've never jumped on it before. I've never been on there.
So it's like a dating app kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't know. I don't think we have Bubble. I mean, we have Tinder out here, but I don't think we have Bubble. God, please. Okay, my accent probably gonna butcher this guy's name too. But so the guy you're facing, Wayne Cummins, is that right?
Cummins.
Okay. What all do you know about him? Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me.
Yeah, from what I've been able to find on the web, I've found a couple of his fights. Very scrappy, the way that I'd describe him. He looks like he has a lot of heart in there. Yeah, I'd say a lot of heart, not that technical. I definitely feel like my technique and the way that I fight is going to stifle out a lot of that wildness that he brings. Obviously, anyone that steps in that cage, man, they're game, they're ready to go and love to fight. But yeah, looking at him, man, I think I'll be able to go in there, outstrike him, outgrapple him. I really think this should be a one-way dominant victory for me.
Well, you just answered my next one because I was actually going to talk about how you're going to finish it. But I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to change direction. So, who wins in a fight between you and Shane Mitchell?
Oh, me every day. Me every day, man. Shane Mitchell.
So if anyone's watching this, make sure you jump on Instagram with Brad or watch Shane Mitchell because some of the stuff they do is absolutely hilarious. Brad likes to take photos and videos of Shane in compromising positions. They're lucky they're friends, but I always like to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have a real good friendship, man. Yeah, big shout out to him. He's been a huge help to me in my career, man. Not only like one of my best mates has been a great. He's paved the way for me. I've got that guy that's 5 steps ahead of me that's telling me all the wrongs and the rights to do. So yeah, big shout out to Shane.
Brett, where can people reach out on social media, man? And I guess maybe any shout outs you want to give to sponsors, gym, whatever. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so yeah, you can find me on all social medias. I'm just Brad Walley, very simple. And then yeah, big shout out to my gyms, CardioFlex and ISO. Both of them always putting in tons of work with me. Both of my head coaches here. I got Craig Ike, who's been with me since day one, and then I got my grappling coach Matt Jones, who's an absolute wizard on the floor. Yeah, and then I've got all my other boys that have been helping me. Jared Bark, he's put in a ton of work with me lately as well. Chris and Taylor, they're both my wrestling coaches. Big shout out to Kyle, who's back in America now. He was another massive help with me. He was one of my wrestling coaches. But yeah, all of them guys. I've got too many people that I can thank all in one will be for the next hour that have all helped me out and put in tons of work with me.
Fantastic, mate. Thanks for your time. I know you're fighting in less than 2 weeks. So, mate, good luck. Combat Insiders are behind you. When you make UFC, make sure you remember us and come back on.
Always. Thank you so much, boys.
All right, for Wayne, for Josh, that's Brad, Walley over there, and we're Combat Insiders, and we're out.